The existing slums in the capital city continue to pose a grave challenge to the authorities, but are yet to find a viable solution to the problem that is denting the efforts to make Islamabad a beautiful place to live. There are 28 shanty towns in the capital inhabited by more than 70,000 dwellers, mostly Afghan refugees and those who have fled Pakistan's conflict zones. Under the Urban Shelter Programme, the Capital Development Authority, or CDA, has acknowledged only 10 slums for provision of all the basic facilities, because a national policy introduced by the government does not allow it to facilitate dwellers of these shanties set up after March 1985.
When we have a look of the government policy framed in 1985, it was a very simple policy, that the settlements cropped up prior to 1985 are to be upgraded, are given property rights. In other parts of the country, other than Islamabad, the focus was only to give property rights to the to the occupants. But in Islamabad, we focused not only to give property rights, but really to upgrade, to raise the standard.
The CDA has been facing many problems in implementing its stated plans for upgradation of 6 slums in their existing location and shifting of 4 others. Even if the CDA succeeds in its efforts, it would still be too little because it has no plans for the other 18 slums. One can hardly believe that the problem would be resolved once and for all, because the issue would remain intact unless a new policy is introduced.
लेकिन किसी भी हुकूमत ने इस पे तवज्जो नहीं दी.
No past governments have addressed the issue of Islamabad slums. Our party slogan is food, clothing and shelter, and under the instruction of the Prime Minister, we fully intend to provide low-cost housing for slum dwellers in this tenure. We are working closely with the Capital Development Authority to achieve this goal in the near future.
Members of the All Pakistan Alliance for Shanties say slums will continue to mushroom in the capital Islamabad because they represent an informal market response to the failure of the state in providing formal housing market. They said that the issue of slums needs to be addressed through a comprehensive change in urban planning paradigms so as to account for the growing population of the working class.
We are equal citizens of Pakistan and demand that the government address our issues. These people are from the working class and cannot afford to move out from here. The city planners have failed to provide adequate low-cost housing for these desperate people.
Driving around the beautiful and lush green metropolis, Press TV visited a Christian slum nestled in one of Islamabad's most prestigious neighbourhoods. Islamabad is a city of contradiction. What lies behind me is a typical example of a dilapidated shanty, which happens to only lie a stone's throw away from the grand homes of the powerful, the affluent and the elite class in this posh neighbourhood of Islamabad. Walking around the slum, one can see the poor and inadequate conditions these dwellers face almost every day. Lack of proper sanitation, supply of gas and electricity are but a few challenges this Christian community faces. In fact, many will never be able to break free from the shackles of poverty and move elsewhere.
Life is very difficult for all of us living in this slum. Every day is a struggle. We have been neglected by the authorities who make empty promises. What future will our children have? Where shall we go?
एक साल हो गया उधर ऑपरेशन हो चुका है उन्हें सान बहुत मारा कुटिया.
The conditions are very bad here. We do not have gas and electricity or even clean drinking water. We are equal citizens of Pakistan but are treated as outcasts. We cannot afford proper accommodation. That is why we are forced to live here. The government has done nothing to help our Christian community who continue to suffer in these slums.
Experts say it is almost impossible for the government to provide housing facilities to all. So instead of starting from scratch in a flawed system that prevents the success of new low-cost housing schemes, why not first improve the existing low-income housing stock in which many live in dilapidated conditions? Many are not happy with the idea. They say it will help slow down the process of implementing new public sector housing schemes which are vital to meet the growing needs for residential units in the capital. Adil Saber Press TV, Islamabad.